Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Patek Philippe 5960P Annual Calendar Flyback Chronograph. You can see this automatic winding platinum calendar chronograph watch and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that although this watch is regarded as a large Patek Philippe, big by their standards, nevertheless it does sit well on a smaller wrist. Now my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, but this one's nowhere near overwhelming it. I'm not getting lug overhang, I don't get the sense that it wants to porpoise on the wrist and capsize, so I would say down to 14 centimeters in circumference, you can be able to wear this watch easily with style and security. Now the watch is large, as they say, by Patek standards. 40.5 millimeters across the round of the case, not including chronograph pushers or crown. It's also unarguably thick by Patek standards. 14 millimeters thick, but you'll note the rounded flank of the case, the step of the bezel, the concave curvature of the bezel, and the slight dome of the sapphire. All those features combine to create a sort of ramp that allows a dress cuff or a tight sleeve to easily ride up and over this watch. An easy watch to wear with formal attire in spite of its thickness. Again, it's only thick by Patek standards. From lug to lug, 49.5 millimeters, very manageable. The lugs are nicely sculpted, so as they exit the case flank, they do turn down quite sharply. So you can see how the watch begins to wrap itself around the wrist. You also note that the strap can be pulled straight down. It's not constrained against the flanks of the case. So if you have that smaller wrist like mine and you want to buckle it secure, simply pull the strap down and buckle it. Now you can also note that the watch features a very high grade alligator leather Patek Philippe strap on top with soft calfskin on the bottom. It also features a very substantial, and I should mention, full platinum filigree style clasp with single fold deployant, beautifully polished inside. It's always important to me that a platinum watch feature a platinum clasp, and moreover that a heavy watch feature a substantial clasp, because the heavy clasp allows this watch to have a counterbalance. Like the keel of a sailboat, it prevents it from wanting to porpoise or capsize over your wrist. Mass on top, mass on bottom, everything in proportion. You'll also note that this watch features a tremendous amount of grayscale detailing, and it transitions beautifully from the high polish of the platinum case to the sunburst slate of the dial. Now it is a sunburst. You can see that radial grain playing in the light as I tilt it in my light box. You'll also note that there's a lot going on this dial. Outboard of the faceted and polished hour indices, there's a luminescent dot for each hour station, and at center the leaf hands for hours and minutes likewise luminesce. So while this watch is more formal than sports in its aesthetic persuasion, nevertheless it does have sports watch functionality with superb low and no light visibility thanks to the luminescence. It's also wonderfully logical in its layout. There's a power reserve scale just beneath the date window at 12 o'clock, tracing the 45 to 55 hour power reserve of the watch. Let's get that chronograph running. You'll also note that there is a neat mono counter at 6 o'clock that features chronograph hours and minutes in concentric circular scales. Just beneath it, a very subtle AM/PM indicator so you can avoid setting the annual calendar out of sequence and damaging the mechanism. Easily adjusted, it features 3 case flank pushers that are used to correct its functions, and the watch has one feature that's fairly unadvertised for the caliber CH-28-520, a flyback chronograph. Yes, it is a flyback. This is something that's almost never mentioned in Patek Philippe literature, and given the expense of the watch, I imagine quite a few owners are unwilling to test the theory themselves. Fortunately, I've just done it for you, proving that this chronograph and all of its variants that I've seen so far, variants of the CH-28-520, do feature a flyback function. Nautilus, I'm talking to you. Now, it's also a beautiful movement. Here's the thing. This movement is automatic winding, and Patek Philippe does its best to make it beautiful in spite of the fact that half of it will always be obscured by the winding rotor. But thanks to the automatic winding, it's an ideal daily companion. You want an annual calendar to be set it and forget it convenient. If you're going to correct your watch just once per year, it ought to energize itself with minimal fuss and effort. Moreover, the unidirectional winding system rotates on unlubricated ceramic rotor bearings, highly efficient and sealed for life. They reduce long-term maintenance needs. Everything is beautifully finished to the standard of the Pont Saint de Genève, which you can see on the bridge right under my thumb. Between 2006 and mid-2009, the 5960s were made with the Geneva hallmark. So, relatively speaking, fewer of these watches have been made with the Geneva hallmark than the subsequent Patek Philippe seal, so it's a little bit older, it's a little bit less common, and it's a little bit more romantic. Now, the balance free-sprung with Patek Philippe's Gyromax free-sprung architecture is particularly resistant to shock-induced timing variations, and because it is essentially a modern movement with modern standards, it also features a Breguet overcoil hairspring in tandem with the free-sprung architecture, which makes it shock-resistant, so resistant to shock-induced timing variations, but also resistant to positionally induced timing variations. That's a mighty tandem. So the watch, featuring a final measure of modernity, actuates its flyback chronograph functions via a column wheel and enjoys the luxury of a vertical clutch. You'll note that there is no constant seconds indicator on this dial when the chronograph is not running. Because of the vertical clutch, not only does the watch start and stop smooth, but you can leave the chronograph running and enjoy center seconds, just ignore the mono counter, to have hours, minutes, and seconds at center. Because of the vertical clutch, there is no additional wear and tear on the movement, as you would find on a traditional horizontal clutch like that you might find on a 5170. Now you can see this versatile, automatic winding platinum Patek Philippe Annual Calendar chronograph, the 5960P, and purchase it on our website.